NMB made an attractive profit. We supported many investments across Nepal with high economic and social impact. We've grown the loan portfolio, and we will pay out an 8.25% cash dividend. Nothing seems really wrong. But is nothing wrong? At the same time, the world is changing drastically. The war between Ukraine and Russia is dividing the world and makes international investing decisions more complicated. The same can be said on the deteriorating trade relations between China and the USA, which will also have a serious impact on the protection of locally produced goods and makes exports more difficult. So is nothing wrong? At the same time, the earth is also warming up. Glaciers are disappearing. Countries like Pakistan and Bangladesh have experienced flooding. The earth remains at risk. International action to repair this disaster is unfortunately not yet there. No country or political leader has the courage to initiate a coordinated action plan and to pay for such a plan. Will the situation impact Nepal? At least to some degree, of course. The key solution lies in international cooperation. But every country and every regulator also needs to focus on their own climate impact and need to protect their inhabitants and set up their internal capacity in a good way. Banks who provide loans to companies or individuals that have a negative impact on the environment by polluting rivers, polluting soil, using non-degradable plastics and so on, they should be aware that these are high risk and potentially irresponsible loans. These loans require very strict covenants or should not be provided at all. This requires responsible actions not only from NMB, but from all banks, as well as Nepal Rastra Bank. It is good that NMB is one of the few banks in Nepal that has already trained their staff to identify these risks. The next step is to apply this knowledge, implement it in the whole loan portfolio, and make careful choices about who to provide credit to and under what conditions. Nepal needs much more banking staff that understands these risks. FMO is happy that Nepal Invests, together with universities in Spain and Nepal, are building a curriculum exactly for this, so that Nepalese students can be educated on these important topics, such as environmental, social, and climate risk management. This will enable banks to make the right choices in the future in terms of which companies and which projects to finance for the good of the country. FMO, as a development finance institution and as an NMB shareholder, would prefer that NMB continues to be the front runner in the Nepali banking sector. NMB has been recognized as one of the few Nepali banks that has been very successful in attracting loans from international institutions. That is a very important development, not only for NMB, but also for Nepal as a country, which needs capital and liquidity, which is now scarce in the banking sector and makes it difficult for companies to grow. However, also for these international lenders, the implementation of sound environmental and social risk management systems is key. To attract more loans, the Nepali banking sector needs to implement these as soon as possible. A completely separate topic is the very specific shareholder structure of Nepali companies, which is split into public and promoter shareholders, each with their own listing, and the fact that, of course, the board is chosen from these two specific groups. In many countries, the board of directors of a bank is a diverse group of people, with each individual member having a specific skill set and being selected because they fit a specific profile. A good board of directors is diverse, with male and female members and with independent specialists. With pride, I mention here that the NMB board, chaired by Mr. Goyan, recently has appointed a new female board member and has hired a professional consultant to assess the effectiveness of the NMB board and to learn ways to further improve their performance. Hopefully, the report from the consultant will provide recommendations to make next year's board, with the new composition, a team with a diverse skill set that will operate even more effectively within the mandate of the Bafia and company law. FMO is assisting in financing the fee of this consultant and later this year will also be actively participating in the pre-AGM discussions with the other major shareholder groups on the selection of shareholder or promoter shareholder nominees for board representation next year. I'd like to finish this short speech by expressing my gratitude for the NMB management and the board members for their strong performance last year. I also do this on behalf of FMO CEO Michael Jongeneel, who visited NMB in Nepal last year in July. Thank you, and we look forward to the year ahead.
20+ years ago, and leading to the formation of NMB and leading to what it is today. I think we've gone through tough times at one time. And I'm still happy with what's going on now, though generally we know the market has been bad globally. In fact, not only affects Nepal, but globally everywhere, and every institution, every business activity has been affected. But I remain confident that things will improve in the coming year with the board and the CEO and all that who are still here with us. But at the same time, I just wish to touch on one, which is see, we have about 1 million Nepalese working in Malaysia, and this year we have got a new Prime Minister in Malaysia in the name of Anwar Ibrahim, and I've met up with the Minister for Human Resource, and these are all the new ministers who are coming to the new team, and they are actually very committed to improve the hiring of human resource manpower from foreign countries. Nepal is one which they have identified very clear, very strictly and very specifically. And I think they're going to make the recruitment exercise more easy, more pleasant, and to be done in a very sensible manner. So I would think that there will be a bit more employment of Nepalese in Malaysia. This will lead to a growth in Nepalese population in Malaysia as well. And I think we have a representative office in Malaysia. We should take advantage of it and see how we can improve our remittances. I think this is something that we can do. It's within us. This is an effort that we should make. That's one. The other things that I noticed, the bank has also moved into being digital. And I believe this also will go in a long way. Most of the banks are turning to this. And I think we need to really work on it to remain competitive, to take advantage of the challenges. Last but not least is also the human factor in the bank, the human resource section. I know we always lose talent. There are new places and new banks coming up. There are new opportunities for our very experienced and competent staff in other organizations. I think the management has got to look at coming up with initiatives, motivations for the staff to remain with us so they could face the growing challenges and work with us, work with the bank as a team to continue building the bank. Yeah, with this, I wish to thank the bank as well for excellent performance for the last year, and wish them all the best in the new year. Thank you.
Thank you. अब यो मन्तव्यहरू कुनै नभएकोले सकिएको छ।